Hi there, this video is for Physics 151 students who are just getting started with the Python programming language. So what it is it's a language where you type, print hello world, you run a code, run a program is called, and it will then do things like send things to your screen. You can make graphs with it, you can do little simulations, you can do math. So the first thing that you need to do is install it on your computer. And so here is a web page called computation.physics.utoronto.ca. It's called, computational physics website here in the physics department. It's run by us. And if you click on getting started, it will take you to the instructions that I'm about to follow right now. So computational physics at U of T, including Physics 151 and 152, uses Python 3 from the Anaconda distribution. There's lots of other Python distributions, but and if you need help with this stuff, you can always email a helpful Python expert in the department at compwiki.physics.utoronto.ca. In your support requests, please include your name, your student number, the course you're in, which is Physics 151, and a detailed description of your problem, including the computer you're using, the operating system, and the issue itself. So, let's get started installing Python on your computer. To install Anaconda, you go to www.anaconda.com. Click on Products and Individual Edition, and scroll down and click on Download. Then you need to choose your operating system. I'm using Windows machine, so I'll just click on 64-bit graphical installer. Download starting. So it's downloading an executable file somewhere. Once that's done, 467 megabytes done, I double click on it, and you basically just follow the prompts, and I recommend doing the default installation. So click Next, I agree, just me, Next, install, take a sip of coffee. And it takes a while, but eventually it gets to completed. So click Next, Next, thank you, here's some helpful tips. Turn those off and finish. Okay, so now you have installed Anaconda Python 3. You can use the Spider program to edit and run Python. You click on the search window, type Anaconda, it'll bring up all the Anaconda stuff, and then find the Spider with a Y, S-P-Y-D-E-R. Click on that. There it goes. It launched an app called Spider with a Y. And note that to avoid unexpected behavior, you should open your .py files, which are your Python codes, from your Spider instead of clicking on them. That's because your computer might be set to run another version of Python when you open a .py, or your computer might not know what to do with them at all. So, when you start Spider for the first time, it sometimes takes a couple of minutes. And you might need to click past a couple of dialog boxes. I'm going to dismiss that, I guess. And here we are. So to test if this really works, let's go on back to that computational physics page, back to the getting started. There's a couple of codes down here. I had no luck running this histogram code, but the error bar script should work. So you can click on that. it said this type of file can harm your computer. A .py file is should just be some text. It really can't harm your computer. I'm going to click keep. Show in folder. So it shows there's a thing called error bar demo, and I'm going to move that over into a directory of folder where I want it. So just sort of drag it to the folder where I'm going to use it. So over here in this folder, I've got a file called errorbar_demo.py. So that's a Python file, and I can, if I want to look at it, I could maybe open it with, what could I open it with? More apps. I could open it with Notepad if I really want to see what it is. So all this is, this .py file, is just some text. Okay, it's kind of weird. You can put more text in there, but then it'll crash. At the beginning, this is just, these are comments, so the computer ignores those. And then, because they start with these quotation marks, end with the quotation marks, and then import numpy, import matlob, x equals, these are all commands that go to the Python. If a line starts with a number sign, then this is a comment. And the Python just ignores any line that starts with a number sign or any lines that are between these three quotation marks. Anyway, that's called Notepad. I can save it if I want. I could also open it with something called CodeWriter, which is on my computer. That's a kind of nice thing, a color codes thing. So the ones, so now if something starts with a number sign, it puts it in green to just kind of remind you, or yellow to remind you that the computer is going to ignore those things. But what you want to open it with, obviously, is Spider. So you go to File, Open, and find it and click Open. Now this is in something where, program, an app that can run this using Python. So the run is a little play button up there. Run file F5. It's a little green triangle. So you can either click that or you can push the F5 button, and then it runs it. And what it does for me is it makes this little graph with some error bars. So that's what all this code actually does. And if I wanted to change something, like instead of 0.14, 0.5, whoop, what happens if I change the 4 to an 8? And then I do Control S to save it and run it again. Well, then I get something else. Okay, so by changing the number 4 to the number 8, I got a different looking graph. So obviously I don't know what I'm doing here, but the point is, whatever you type in here, it tries to do it. Do more work, computer. So that's a command. I can save that. I can click the triangle. Oh, it gives me a syntax error. Invalid syntax. Do more work, computer. You can't say that. Okay, so basically, don't if you have to type exact commands for it to go through and actually do it. So you'll get used to this during the class, but that's a basic introduction to Python. So good luck.